Greetings, Outlanders. Gitchiver here, and today I'm going to be introducing you to the Ashlander Architect mod and showing you how to build a basic settlement. Alright, so as you can see, we are here on the mod page for Ashlander Architect here on Nexus Mods. And of course, like any good mod, you just download it from the files section, either manually or into your mod manager of choice. If you need a recommendation on those, I use Mod Organizer too. It can be a little more technical, but it does the job really well. Now, there are a few requirements to this mod, and they'll be listed right here on the front page. The first of which is actually, there we go, Open Morrowind, but not the regular 0.48. That's the latest public build. You have to get the current development build, which you can find if you click on Windows builds if you're in a Windows computer, or there's Ubuntu options for Linux, and it just downloads the installer. Installing Open Morrowind's a whole other thing that I probably should make a video on some point, but it's fairly straightforward. The mods you'll be required to use are just basically data packs. So Tamriel data from Tamriel Rebuilt. It's not the actual content that you play in game, it's just the various resources that they've created, because some of those are implemented in. On a similar note, you also need OAB of Ash and Blight, at least the data files from that. So again, nothing is actually implemented in the game world. These are just resources, and they'll be added to, of course, construction build menu options. And then, not required, but always recommended, they're the various amazing static displays. So I knew about this this first one, the general, that you'll actually see in a little bit, but I did not realize it was actually part of a series. So I'll be going back and getting these and doing some work with them. They have armor stands, some more advanced crates and barrels. Not super excited about that one necessarily, but the others definitely. Better clothing displays, so closets, racks, display cases. Amazing book displays. That one I'm looking forward to. And the weapon displays I'm really looking forward to as well. So I'm going to check all of those out, and we'll probably have a follow-up with that. But with that out of the way, let me go ahead and show you how to do some basic work with the mod once you have it installed. Alright, so now that we know how to get it installed, let's take a look at the Ashlander Architect mod. Now, as you can see, I'm off the coast of Telfir here, along Azura's coast near the Mologamo region. We do have a couple of mud crabs around, but they won't pose any problems. I've got AI toggled off so that we can just do some building. I chose this spot because it's kind of a good flat area, and I'm just going to show you how to set up a simple settlement. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to place a settlement marker. We can do that by bringing up our build menu with the B button by default. You can change the key bindings around, but I'm just going to keep it vanilla for now so you can see how it works. So we go over to the settlement tab using our arrow keys and hit up, and it'll bring us into this. We hit markers, go up again, and settlement marker. Now you'll notice this one does cost 3,000 gold. It's the only piece that actually costs anything to place so far. There will be more later that cost money, so it's more realistic of a building thing, but for now it's just this one. And you can rotate it around with the mouse wheel. Holding down Alt and using the mouse wheel should, bring it towards you or push it away from you. And Control drags it up and down. And then just place it with your left mouse button, and it will take the 3,000 gold and place your settlement marker. Now, if you're not happy with where you put it, you can right-click it and kind of move it around, find a different spot, and right-click again to set it back down. It can be a little confusing at first since you're swapping between left and right buttons for picking up, dropping, and originally placing. You get the hang of it after a little while. Not too bad. Now, let's see here. If we want to just do quick and dirty, nice, simple thing, we can actually come over to prefab buildings, and there's actually a really nice selection here of different buildings. And they're all sorted by their style. So there's some Hlalu, Velothi, Imperial. You can go Ashlander, Redoran, Tovani, Skull. They're Imperial fort pieces, or Indoril. They also have a nice boat, but we'll take a look at that in a few minutes. So let's say you wanted to do kind of just a traditional, Velothi house. How about that? Nice little simple Velothi. So you see we have a manor there. They've got a basic house. There's a prison building, which is kind of neat. I don't remember if I've ever actually seen one of those in-game. And an inn. The only thing with the inn is you do have to put it up against something because it doesn't have a rear texture. But that's usually not a problem. The Hlalu actually has a really nice selection of buildings. So pretty much everything that you're used to seeing, in Balmora. Lots of cool stuff. But I've done some Telvanni, or some Hlalu builds already. We'll look at those in a little bit. The Telvanni ones, they only have some little pod houses for now. They don't have the big mushroom tower yet. But let's say we want to do just kind of a simple Redoran home. A little Alderuin kind of looking place. Just a simple single level hut. Just so you got something to live in. And placement works the same way as with the settlement marker. So it does tend to stay near ground level, and you can raise and lower it a bit here. Just to fit the contour. I think that's a pretty good spot right there. You left click to place it, and it'll put another one in your hands. You can set up multiples or do however you want with it. Alright, so we got a little house here. And let me show you how the inside works. Oh yeah, so we need to name our place. So you can go to your settlement marker and crouch in front of it. Bring up your activate, or hit your activate button, and it brings up this little menu. How about Scribby Hut? Yeah, and now the marker reads Scribby Hut. It doesn't place anything on the world map, unfortunately. But hopefully that is implemented at some point. Now, you can't see the house now, but if I don't think I have to fully exit the game or anything. If I just quick save here and quick load back, and we take a look at our menu, you can see the hut's been added to it. You can do the same thing with the hut that you did with the settlement. Name it Scribby Hut. Now let's go in. Let's take a look. So as you can see, it's just a basic Redoran home. And over here we do have lots of furniture. So you can select whatever kind of bed you want. Got lots of different options. Let's just go with the single bed here, just a regular bed. And you can rotate it with your mouse wheel, of course. Do all the usual manipulations there. Furniture is pretty versatile. You can place it however you want. You do have to make sure that it's on the ground sometimes, because it'll look like it is and it's actually floating. But that looks good. Now the interesting thing is, let's go ahead and go to morning so we can see when we go outside. Our settlement should be detecting the bed. We go back over to the settlement marker, crouch and hit E. Notice it's not showing any beds available. If we go ahead and allow settlers to join. Yeah, there we go. Let everybody join. We go back in. It just doesn't show any beds. Now, if I actually were to place like a bedroll out here. Alright, try a fresh bedroll, drop it on the ground, and it still does not show any beds. Which is interesting because when I've done this before, it does count, and I don't know why it's not counting here. Maybe it doesn't like the spot. There are lots of other furniture options you can do, which I've got some stuff I'll show you in a bit that shows, kind of the full setup. We can place fires inside of stuff. Got lots of options. The static displays are actually really cool. This is a separate mod, but I'll link that as well. And you can kind of place these, preset shelves. They got lots of options for different things, and they function as full containers. Now, when you're ready to expand your settlement out a bit, there are some bigger options to work with. If we go into the actual building tab, we can pull up some foundations, and those will kind of snap together along the standard north-south axis here. And they actually snap together, so they're fairly easy to work with here. And if you want to change the height of them, you can drag it up or down. Something to consider when you're designing your settlement or picking a spot for your settlement is just making sure that it's going to line up in the way that you want, because you can rotate the tiles, but it doesn't rotate other than on a 90-degree axis. There are larger versions, like this large Velothi foundation over here, that actually do function independently. And so you can bring that up a bit here. Come on. Oh, vertical lock. There we go. But yeah, you can bring those to whatever angle you want, but they do not snap together, so that is something to keep in mind. Now that we have this little jetty here put together, another cool thing we can do is we can put down, I believe they're in prefabs, yeah, boats. Just one boat at the moment, but it is a pretty neat boat. I do like it. And we can just place that just like this. Oh, maybe a little bit higher up, because as we can see, that one's under, Yeah, so that's one thing that does happen with this. If you click on an element that's not the primary element, then it will actually move independently. There we go. Alright, so that should be... I think we're probably going to have to put the boat right about there. Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting jump is disabled when you're in the build menu. But let me actually bring these up a bit. There we go. And the great thing is now when you click on the next one to it, it'll snap up to that location. And you can offset them as well. And then you can kind of have like, steps going down. Makes it a little bit easier to work with. And that works. So we got a basic pier there. Now one thing we can do, since we've got a boat, you don't need the boat, but, that's one thing you do want to save quite often. Because if you click on something like, let's just, say this tree trunk right here. If we click on that, that lets us move it around. If you happen to be in an interior cell and do that, well, hopefully you don't hit the wall, because it's going to cause lots of problems. You can do it with creatures too, so that's always fun. Look at spinning mud crab. Alright, let's launch him somewhere. How about that? It doesn't launch very quickly. Here, you go in the water. There we are. But now if we go back to the settlements and we go over to markers, we can scroll through, and as you can see, there's lots of different ones. I'm going to put a shipmaster marker. There it is. Now these won't be visible when you're not in the build menu. So don't freak out when it disappears, but you just want to place that on the ground. And once settlers are fully implemented, first off, if you have a bed and it registers that you have a bed, then you can tell it that you want one settler. And within 24 hours, somebody will show up. And once it's fully implemented, they should be able to come over here and be a shipmaster and take you all over the place. But now that we've seen kind of the basics of it, let me show you what a full build, full refit of a town looks like. Alright, now that we've seen a bit of the building techniques, let me show you what I've been working on the last couple of days. So, this is what was the Dren Plantation. It is still Dren Plantation, but a much different Dren Plantation than what you may remember. So, as you can see, I've built a wall extending the city out a bit. And I've moved a lot of the lower value huts out here.
I'm on duty, but go ahead.
As you can see, we've placed some guards. All of this here has been manually placed, so we placed our barrels, baskets, of course, the flowers, ferns. Now, over here we have our clother's shop. I haven't finished the interiors on the shops, so we aren't going to look at those right this minute. This is the caravaneer. He's supposed to be up there, but an interesting thing, the settlers aren't quite 100% yet, so they have some things to work out. We do have a pawnbroker and a bookseller, little stands, so got a good market district together now. We do have a tavern, which is also not finished, the Thirsty Scrib. As you can see, I've left a lot of the traditional larger buildings in place, and just kind of built around those and accented those. We do have some various guard towers around. Those are still being finished out. And down on the docks, we have a ship now. So, there is still a decent bit of decoration to do here. See, we got another guard tower up there. And this, that for some reason a lot of my settlers are congregating around, is Get Shiver Manor. So, let me give you the grand tour. In the first landing area, we have a little refreshment center. And we've got a bed here for a porter that will run this area here. Nice fire to warm up, and of course we've got our muck shovel prominently on display up here. Little reading corner, some eggs over there. Now if you come down the stairs, we have a little landing, sitting, meeting, greeting area kind of set up. So, I do love these static displays. We've got another one of those downstairs. Now if we come out this way into the main chamber, this is where the house really opens up. And you can see it's large enough that we have a fountain in here. And there's various things we can look at. Over here is the museum section, which of course we are still collecting artifacts to fill out. But we do have everything on display, which I may have too many, may have not enough display places. I'm still working on all that, but yeah, we have banners are placeable. These little coat of arms pieces are placeable. All of this is hand placed. This place was empty. Over here we have our dining hall. So this is a table setting display piece. This is one solid chunk. I did add the food to it, but we have a bar set, and you can do the bar sets. They have all the pieces. It works just like the walls. And of course the fireplaces. The lights are interesting. The ropes are one piece, and they have lots of different options. They have lots of different options for the lanterns. Over here, this is the light armor display room, where we have various pieces and pieces of, full sets, and various pieces of armor in the light and medium class. We have weapon displays around this area, so showcasing various weapon types. Our memorial shrine here to the various artifacts of individuals that didn't make it to Morrowind. And potion storage over on this side. Let's check out upstairs over here. And this is our heavy armor repository. So again, like the room downstairs, we have lots of different sets and pieces of sets, and just kind of filling stuff out as we get it. On the other side, so this is the training room. Got some practice mats you can work with. We got a couple of throwing weapons and some arrows there. And there's some overflow weapon storage in that cabinet. Extra armor storage under the stairs, and this is the forge room. So, sadly, it's, cosmetic. It's not interactive, but, yeah, just a little repair and workshop area. We got looms over here. They've got a lot of neat things you can place as decorations. And I believe there is a way to add individual item meshes to that list as well, but I'm not 100% on that yet. This is the skooma corner, so nice little chill out spot. You can sit by the fireplace if you'd rather. And over here we've got the enchanting nook, so we keep all of our soul gems and things like that over there. Here's our alchemy section. So these are all sorted chests of ingredients. Makes it a little easier. And for acquiring said ingredients, we have 2 floors of greenhouse. So we have some larger plants downstairs that take up a good bit of room. And if we go around to the top, in here we've got our smaller plants. So all of these planters and plants are available in the menu to drop and set up wherever you want. So whatever environment you're going into, you can do a proper set of everything around the outside and set up inside plants too. That's just a little study and storage nook for general magic and other things. Probably more display piece than anything. Might do some filming in this area for B-roll, for, item close-ups and stuff. In here, we've got the master bedroom suite. So you've got an office out here, kind of, storage space, workspace, eating space, and the master bedroom. Got a Daedric longsword under the bed in case anything ever pops up at night. Again, we got the fireplaces. Those are really nice. You can place fire as an individual element, but you can't really move it around very well afterwards, so make sure you place it where you want. And up here, we have one of the nicest areas, in my opinion. This is our library. So over here, we have books sorted alphabetically, running all the way down there. And the center area here, these are various collections of books, and the numerical ones, of course. So, it's not complete, but we have a good bit. Scrolls of the magical variety are stored along this side of the wall, alphabetically again. And then there's the research and records department downstairs, where we have various scrolls that don't fit upstairs. Either they're correspondence or, private records, things like that. Any sort of notes that we pick up will all go down here. Yeah, I've got Caius's stuff set aside just in case we want to do that at some point. But yeah, that is the Dren Plantation. So thank you for taking a look at this with us. I was really happy to show you around. And like I said, this isn't finished product, but it's pretty far along. Far enough that I felt okay showing off a bit. I have to say, I've really enjoyed trying this mod out, and I'm going to be keeping it around for a while. There are absolutely still things to be implemented and bugs to work out, but what I've seen so far is very impressive. I'm looking forward to the full implementation of the settler and traveler systems to give our little outpost some integration with the world, as well as the addition of new elements like the Telvanni mushroom towers or tile sets like the Necrom set from Tamriel Rebuilt. I think added control features like Z-axis manipulation or the ability to lock and unlock objects would be fantastic additions to prevent those occasional misclicks that toss your interior wall segments into the void. The developer Zackhasacat has put out some really cool work, including adding black soul gems to Open Morrowind, so check out this mod and his other great submissions on Nexus Mods if you're interested. Until next time, I've been GetShiver. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Later!